I know the road is long. I wonder if you could use some company. I'm headed out that way, so what I'm trying here to say is I wouldn't mind if you came along with me. Take a road trip, pack the car, give yourself a holiday, and we can go the long way if you like. Take a road trip, who cares where we are, miles and miles of distant stars, and we can stop sometimes to see the sights on a road trip. I don't know if we'll make it on the tank of gas we got, but I can top it off if you get the snacks. We got a couple hours of daylight, and we've been feeling alright. Heading out and never looking back. On a road trip, pack the car, give yourself a holiday, and we can go the long way if you like. Take a road trip, who cares where we are, miles and miles of distant stars, and we can stop sometimes to see the sights on a road trip. Take a road trip, pack the car, give yourself a holiday, and we can go the long way if you like. Take a road trip, who cares where we are, miles and miles of distant stars, and we can stop sometimes to see the sights on a road trip.
All right, here we are. It's a Monday night. We've got a great guest here in our studio, member of Provincial Parliament joining us, George Pirie. How you doing, George?
Pretty good, guys. It's a miserable day here.
Yes.
Freezing rain and snow, but
And
I guess
snow.
that's what we're in for. At this
Happens
time of
every year, but
Yeah.
people always tell us
surprise.
online.
Well, welcome to the North. Now, the question I was going to ask Mark before we get into the interview, have you disposed of your pumpkins yet, or are they frostbitten?
Pumpkins are in today's trash. Actually.
Oh, no.
Yes,
Is that where they're
they've been
supposed to
they've
go?
been
I don't
tossed
know,
out.
Mark.
Are they supposed to be in the garbage?
I think they're supposed to be disposed properly, like us.
Maybe they're in the composter.
Yeah, I'll do a double check at your home after
That's
the
it.
show.
The truck's
but
stopping right now.
yes, that's right. But hey, we're inside. We're warming up on
Yeah.
a Monday evening, and it's great to see the MPP again. Thank you so much. And we should say, Mark, George has been a huge supporter of ours since the beginning. Before we were even KINZ and KLOMP, you with your on the radio and
known him in
myself.
the radio career, of
Yeah,
course,
that's right.
mayor here in the city, years past, and now
That's
our
right.
member of provincial parliament, as they say, kicking ass and shaking hands and kicking ass and making
Wow,
names.
Kinsman's getting all
Getting all
wild
rowdy
here
on a Monday.
getting all wild on a Monday night. But we appreciate you coming in, George. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about tonight is, a lot of the great things that are happening in our community. And, if you go on social media, people have a lot of comments and feedbacks on what's happening, the good or the bad. But I find sometimes that we miss the message of a lot of the positives that are happening in Timmins and surrounding area, and the things that your office has been working on. And it's a good opportunity to chat about that. And I know you had earlier this morning, you were part of a fairly big announcement for the community.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to say thank you very much for the invitation. It's great to be here talking to you guys and talk to the folks of Timmins. I think you guys are doing a great job, and you're quite correct. I mean, I think the first interview I had with Jamie was I was running to become the mayor, and
Right.
we had a really good time, and we had a lot of fun with that interview, and certainly that continues today. A lot of support in the community for you guys and what you're doing, and it's well deserved. There's been a lot of focus since I've been here as the MPP and the Minister of Mines, which is slightly over a year, on focusing on the amount of dollars and funds that are moving directly into the community, and of course, as the minister and as the MPP, very, very proud of that. Gives us, we have to recognize, of course, that there's a big difference when you can just dialogue with individuals every single week that make the difference, not only in the community but in the province. Community directly through me with the ministers that can make a change in our community. There's 4 announcements here, for instance, and 3 out of the 4 are associated with the social services. There's one that's Parker Equipment, which is a great company. It speaks to the growth within the city of Timmins and the growing economy. You should be, you're very aware of what we've been doing with the ministry, the critical mineral strategy, the pillars of it, and one of them is exploration. So I'm pleased that everybody to tell you that right now Ontario, and one of my mandates is that Ontario's got to be the #1 jurisdiction for mining in Canada. So we've already achieved that in exploration. We are the #1 exploration jurisdiction in Canada, and you can see the effect of that right here in Timmins. Timmins is very, very busy. There's all kinds of spending on infrastructure in the city of Timmins, probably unprecedented. In fact, not probably, without a doubt, unprecedented in the history of Timmins. So, there's only one reason individuals get involved in politics. It's municipal or provincial or federally, and that's to make a difference. So if I'm making a difference, then I'm happy. And again, we point to the dollars that are coming through the community. The biggest dollars were about $750,000, and it's to a centralized food hub right here in the old Daily Press building. We know what the old facility looked like. It was very inefficient. It was difficult to deliver the food into the food bank. It was difficult to get it back out. And this was a vision that we talked about when, in fact, I was the mayor and chairman of DSAB. Brian Marks is always a champion. The whole idea was this, if we can get a funding partner for this, then we can make this happen. Mm-hmm. So that's what we see there now. So we had a good crowd at the announcement, and I encouraged everybody to take a look around because it runs like a business now. It is a business, a big business. None of us wants it to be a big business, but it is, and so if it's going to be run that way, it's got to be run that way, and that means it runs efficiently and effectively, and that's what that food hub does. On top of that, we have over $100,000 for the Sikh community to build a community kitchen right there on Cedar Street. Mm-hmm. And the Sikh community, as all of the other immigrants into the city of Timmins, have really enriched the social fabric of the town, the city. They're a key part of what you see happening in Northern College. There's over 1,000 students enrolled in Northern College from India. They're critical to the success of our service businesses. the business owners will come up and say, without those students coming in, they would not have been executed and would not have been able to execute on their business plan. So again, a huge a huge success, and speaks to the importance of that community to the larger community. And they're here, and this is what really makes me happy. They're here because they want to be here. We talked to those kids there. They've got room, they got fresh air, they got fresh water, and they've got opportunities. It's why our forefathers came here. Same things, lots of opportunities. And this is at a critical point in Ontario's history right now. And Timmins is a big part of it, because this is what we're doing. We're focusing on the critical minerals. We've got them in rare earths. We're finding the fuels of the future today in Northern Ontario, and we're part of it. We're part of it. And those kids come from India recognize that their future is going to be right here in Northern Ontario, in Timmins. It's tremendously exciting, and every kid should be very excited about this. I've said this publicly many times. When they found oil in West Texas in the turn of the last century, shortly after that, the U.S. was the largest economy in the world. And who's got the fuels right now that they're looking for? Us in Northern Ontario. Yeah. And Timmins is going to be a hub of that. And you can virtually, and with critical minerals, like it's lithium, of course, but it's nickel and copper and cobalt and all the other critical minerals and rare earths that are just west of Ottawa Rapids, lithium just south of Hearst, graphite and potash in the Hearst area, not to mention niobium. I mean, they're all here in Northern Ontario. Our future is exciting. Our population will increase, and there's lots of work to do. And the kids from India are going to be a big part of that. The other part of the last announcement we had was about $90,000 again to put a roof back over to where the old food bank is. So 3 out of the 4 announcements are talking about social services, and that's the NOHFC funding. That's what it does. It builds communities, and to build a community, you have to have a healthy community. So 3 out of the 4, and Parker is a good example of a private enterprise that's benefiting on how busy we are in Timmins as we create the future right now. And what's it all about? It starts with mining. And that's what we're all about here.
That's it. Well, they needed a new dozer, so 400.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. $400,000. It's nice to have some of this funding.
Yeah. So we're securing the supply chain, and it's every community, not just Timmins. It's communities in Northern Ontario, Southern Ontario, and the Indigenous communities. They're all thriving. Take a look at what you see in the First Nations communities, and then let's take a look at Matawagami First Nation. I mean, it's good for everybody.
I think it's great news. A couple of things I wanted to touch on is first the food hub. And when we had the food bank representatives here on the show, they gave me an alarming stat where, the majority of the people that are accessing their services are the elderly. Yeah. And I was shocked.
And single families.
I think it's more from, it was my own heart. Are we doing enough to serve the elderly in our community who a lot of them served for our freedoms that we have today? Are our grandparents, are our great-grandparents, and to feel that if they're on a limited income and they don't have accessibility just to the basic requirements in life, really struck a chord with me. And I'm happy to hear that we're doing more now in this community to ensure that they have the necessities that they deserve, because no one at any stage in life deserves to go without the basics. But I feel for the people that are elderly, they're at a certain age, they may be physically unfit to work and generate income, and that's much needed. It's a big deal, the food hub. Being placed downtown and being centralized, and if it's a business, if that's the way to help people to reach out the hand, then that's the way to go.
Yeah, easier to get at too.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, you've hit. That's why we wear poppies. You talk about the elder. I want to expand on that a little bit. We just had a meeting on Friday afternoon, as a matter of fact, and I want to talk about the commitment that the mining communities have to fund the food banks, and I mean all the mining communities here in Timmins, and how they're committed to ensure that the needs of the food bank are met, and you know, at that, you know, the community is full of volunteers, and I don't want to miss any, but I applaud every single volunteer in the South Porcupine Food Bank and the Timmins Food Bank, and you saw an announcement that we had celebrating a $10,000 grant. There was Trillium funding actually about the freezers in South Porcupine. So everybody is kicking in to ensure that those needs are met, and including if there's an individual, and they have a fantastic display in Halloween, and it's in Mount Joy, and that individual, I believe, has close to $100,000 worth of equipment installed on their property. And all they ask, and the kids go through, it's a 3-day event. You know, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and all they ask is a donation to the food bank. And it's worthwhile reporting back what those results were. They got a phenomenal amount of cash, and they got, I don't want to misspeak here, but tons of food donated. And that speaks to the community. It speaks to the dedication of individuals that decide that they want to help, and we've got to recognize that. You know, Ron and his partner and my buddy Jill, they're focused on this. I shouldn't mention any names. I shouldn't, because I'm going to miss too many volunteers. There's another.
So many.
Yeah, there's another group, I think, that still does this. And it's is it over on Spruce?
There's one on Toke.
Toke.
There's the Brimstone Mansion on,
Brimstone
on
Mansion.
Chestnut Lane.
Yeah.
And of course, Mark Lacroix and his
on
Toke Street
yes,
Haunted
that's
House.
right.
He just celebrated his 5th, and apparently the best year they've had yet to date.
And I believe
donations.
it's all donations to the food bank.
It is, yes.
yeah.
So I'm glad you've got the others at your fingertips, because I wouldn't have wanted to miss any of them. But that's how the community responds, and I think it tears at your heart when the individuals, the volunteers, tell you that who needs the food. Well, the seniors. It's you know, we just had a recent well, the announcement is, it's not new anymore, but we had Stan Chu was out in a few weeks ago just turning the soil on the Golden Manor. And you know, we're up to, I think, $90 million. We've increased the funding across the province. But that Golden Manor, again, it's a recognition of the elders' contribution to this community. And those types of announcements are very, very, very rewarding. And you know, we've got a lot of work to do, but I'm sure we'll get it done, and it will not require a excessive burden on the taxpayer, which again is always the number one thing that people will be thinking about. But I know, working together as a community, we can reduce that burden on the local taxpayer. It's quite frankly, it's just what we do. Just what we do here in the community.
Well, and the second piece I wanted to touch base on is our Sikh community. And Mark and I have had the very fortunate opportunity to work, especially with Daisy Baines and her family and the whole community. And first and foremost, they're the most welcoming, friendliest, open-door individuals that you'll ever meet in their life. So if you've never been to a festival or a celebration,
back to this community.
Number one, please do. You're going to have the most amazing time. And number two, you know, you hear a lot from business owners in this community. The need to fill vacancies is number one. And a lot of individuals who come here are international, whether they're students or just coming here to reside in the community. They're filling these vacancies. They're putting what they call butts in the seats at Northern College.
Yes.
They have a huge imprint on this community, on top of being the most gracious and generous people.
And they're
that
bringing
we've ever
their
met.
culture into our community as well. Just this
right.
past weekend, the Diwali, they had the Diwali Festival of Lights.
At
And
the
again,
college,
people wondering, probably the best fireworks display that they've seen out of Northern College this weekend. And again, it was thanks to Daisy Baines and her amazing connection, bringing the Diwali, festival to light here.
So our community is getting more diverse. At least our eyes are opening to it a lot more, and even attending the Multicultural Festival, we have an opportunity to see that. So I think I'm happy to hear about the investing in the Sikh community and giving them an opportunity to expand their services. To me, that's another big positive deal.
Well, from my perspective, I said this morning at the announcement that it was a real pleasure to give money to assistance back out to the Sikh community, because they're always giving. I mean, it's a tenet of their beliefs. That is a community kitchen that they have there. They're wide open. Anybody can go in, and it's a tenet of their belief that they're there to help people. So helping out with the community kitchen is a big deal. As I said earlier, they have been, and right now they're a big part of the community, and we want to ensure that community still grows. I think they're going to be a big part of the future. They are a big part right now, the president of Northern College, and we want to ensure that they're a big part of the future of Northern College. Again, the more students they have, the more rich culturally we are within the city of Timmins. I think that because of the nature of how the community grew, we always had a diverse community, but it was largely about Europe and Eastern Europe, and we're all very, very proud of that. There's no doubt about it, and as well as England and Scotland and Ireland, the United Kingdom, but now we see a situation where we are truly international. As the individuals from Asia and Southeast Asia come to Timmins to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. We see people from all over Africa as well, and that's what happens. The community is growing, opportunities are evident, and people will come to where the opportunities are, and it's incumbent on us as citizens of the community to ensure that, in fact, that they're welcomed and that they can succeed and prosper. And that's what every arm of the government, whether it's municipal, provincially, or federally, is to set the table for progress. And that's why these announcements are extremely important, to set the table for that development. There is one objective that the federal government has, and that's that they want Canada to be 100 million people by the end of this century. So a little bit more than 75 years to go. We're about 40 million people rate. That means we've got more than double our population in 75 years. Quite frankly, I think that's it's an objective that we should be able to meet, because Canada is the second largest by area, landmass area in the world. And take a look at Northern Ontario. We'll begin. I mean, 9/10 of this province is in Northern Ontario. We've got 1/10 of the population, and we've got 10 just in the Great Canadian Clay Belt, 10 million acres of arable land, more than Manitoba, equal to the number of arable land we have in Southern Ontario. We have the forestry industry that's having some tough times, but let me tell you, they'll move past that, and they'll focus on things like cardboard and other things. The fastest growing segment of the forestry sector. We've only got one mill left in Kapuskasing, but they're doing very well. And on top of that, they've got agricultural land there, and they've got mineral potential, lots of mineral potential as you well know. So where are those people going to come from? They're going to come into Northern Ontario, and with the people, we'll increase our infrastructure. By that I mean roads and rail and ports on the back of that. It's all going to happen here in a large part of it in Northern Ontario. We take the stress of Southern Ontario and we grow Northern Ontario. It's inevitable.
It's a big deal. Now I have to, this summer I did a lot of camping at Villers Bay, and I know you're not too far from there. And I had the boat out. I said, well, if I saw George sitting by by the lawn chair, I was going to show him my fishing skills. I didn't get to see you too often, and then I get some feedback from your team, including Matt and Jacob, how busy your summer was.
Yes.
And there was a lot of accomplishments this summer, especially in this region.
Well, we had, just speaking about the number of visitors we had in the city of Timmins, from a ministry point of view, and again, that's one of the benefits I have as a minister, is to request that these individuals, the ministers, come to the city, talk to the individuals, talk about their needs and what can be accomplished. So you're talking one-on-one with the ministers of the Crown about the concerns of the city of Timmins. And as the MPP, obviously, that's one of my priorities, to ensure that the needs of the citizens of Timmins are listened to and, whenever possible, realized. So yeah, we've had a great number of visitors. Jill Dunlop, she's the Minister of Colleges and Universities, and she had a special announcement at Northern College about the Innovation Centre. That's an innovation centre that we really want to grow and thrive. And if you really want, and you guys can do this anytime you want, reach out to those guys, talk to them, the Innovation Centre people, on what they're working on.
Just
and
amazing people.
it's truly, truly, truly amazing on what they're doing. So it was a great day with Minister Dunlop. Again, we finished up in the evening. We drove down to, not we, but she stayed with her people in Timmins, and one of the individuals I work with the ministry drove down to North Bay, and then we went into Ottawa, and we had a special panel discussion with the Indigenous people on that file. So it's kind of like today. We've got a full day in Timmins. Tomorrow I'll leave early in the morning. I go to Toronto. We've got discussions with the Indigenous people in Toronto on Tuesday. Wednesday we'll be here, and Michael Thibodeau will be here again talking about mental health and addictions here. There'll be no media, but a lot of what we do, we don't ring it up the flag post. We have the conversations. Thursday I've got to be back to an event in Sudbury, and then I'm back Friday. So that's kind of like the week, how the weeks happen. We have we had Minister Sylvie Jones, and again it was a full day talking about healthcare in the city of Timmins. Again, round table discussions with at DSAB, talking about what's required to meet our needs. Minister Tangri, we announced 6 new beds for the facilities down on it was Wilcox. Again, dollars and investments that had been needed for a number of years, and we were able to deliver on those. You know that we had, I talked about Stan being in here just a couple weeks ago. We had Graydon Smith, the Minister of Natural Resources, and we finished. We had the announcement on the forest fire incentives here. We went out to take a look at what's going on in Monteith at the dam there. We went to Iroquois Falls. I don't think anybody realized we had good discussions with the mayor and council on their problem on Nally Lake. We toured that facility there, and you know, who's there? 2 ministers. It's not my riding. It's not Graydon's riding, but we're working to help the Iroquois, or the people from Iroquois Falls on that problem they have with Nally Lake. They went to then Graydon went to Kirkland Lake. They had I think a great announcement there. Came back here, and we met with the Interfor at the mill here. So and again, that was just shortly after the announcement on Espanola, and everybody is working together to ensure, and you know, to help the people in Espanola. But number 2, it puts a tremendous stress on the movement of fiber through Northern Ontario, and the biggest stress on that is the chips. So working together, all of this stuff gets sorted out, but we want to make sure that we find a home for Espanola, because when everybody knows, and it's really integrated. You can't imagine it, but you know, the forest here moves to Espanola, and some of it moves back over here with the chips. It's all integrated, and so the multi-minister approach is absolutely critical. It's just a real privilege to be able to have the ministers here in town, and quite frankly, I think they really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I brought them into Kid Creek, down to 10,200 feet.
Not too often you get to go down that far.
No, it's actually the deepest place in Earth right now. I mean, Johannesburg is about 5,000 meters high. So we're actually deeper in Kid Creek than any place else in the world. And why do I do that? Because they feel tremendously confident that I can bring them there. We can show them what a tremendous operation it is, how safe it is, how good the rock looks at that level. It's just a tremendous asset. We're all very proud of what we do as miners, and we like to show it off. When we get the ministers in town, that's what we do. You know, we had Minister Mulroney here as well, and she had a full day as well looking at the results of the connecting link. She's also the Minister of Francophone Affairs. We had a special afternoon with the Alliance to discuss about the Francophone needs. None of this is ever really on media,
right?
But it's very important for every single aspect of our community, because that's just exactly what our government is all about. So when we get Minister Mulroney and having a chance to talk privately with the Francophone Alliance, it's tremendously important to them to hear directly for their ministry, the Ministry of Francophone. And you're not going to meet a nicer person in the world than Minister Mulroney.
It is a beautiful thing, and I know one of the things you chatted about it when you were running for election is to give the Timmins and community a voice in Toronto, and it sounds like that's happening with all these these amazing things that are happening. A lot of good things are happening in our community. A lot of investments, and a lot of amazing people. So
a lot of great funding coming in to
help
our amazing community as well. It's nice to see.
There's another part that of what we're talking about, and because when we have an announcement, we always focus on the monetary side of things, and that's very, very important to the community. But I want to take I've got a tremendous staff in the Riding Association, and Matt and Vicky and Jennifer, and they deal with individuals every single day that have needs, and some of them are very, very, very complicated. Some of them are almost impossible to solve, but we got 3 people that just won't say no. The first no is, okay, well, why? And eventually, and I know we'll have more sessions like this, and I want to point out some of the wins that we've had with individuals
Right.
and families that have come to us for help and assistance and what we've done. And quite frankly, there's maybe others would not do this, but I get lots of requests that aren't even in the writing. I said, no, we're here to help, and if we can help, we'll take that request and see if we can help people solve things. And I've got a lot of requests that come to me from out of the Riding Association as well. So look, if we can help, we'll help, because as I've said, when Northern Ontario prospers, Timmins prospers, and that's what we want to see help here. That's what we want to see happen here.
You make an amazing point, because when I was chatting politics with a couple of my friends, they always wonder why does a person keep getting reelected? Maybe they go, I don't agree with their platform or their party, but sometimes it's not about that. It's the individual,
It's the little things,
concerns that are being addressed. And for example, if I was to come into George's office and they helped us out with, hypothetically, a birth certificate issue, may not be underneath here per se, but I would remember that, and my family would remember that, and their sense of loyalty. And it's all these ABCs that probably happen on a daily basis that you help out with people, which, wouldn't make mainstream news, but that means a lot. To me, that's just as important as, funding in infrastructure, because what's important to one person, that's their important issue. And that's a big deal. We can never lose that personalized touch.
No, and it shows that, when you do have a question, it's going to be answered locally. And again, there's people here 24/7 that will be there to, field, anyone's concerns.
Well, really and truly, I mean, so you've got a family of refugees, and to get social services, well, it starts off with you have to prove who you are, birth certificate. Well, if you're a refugee, you don't have a birth certificate.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to work through that process quickly, and quite frankly, it's probably the most rewarding part of the job. I've said that many times in my career, privately, in the private sector, and then as the mayor in here. When you have an opportunity to help people, it's probably the most rewarding part of an individual's day. This probably sounds, I probably shouldn't tell this story because it sounds like I'm, patting on, I don't want it to sound like that, but, every once in a while you're in a position to help people when and it's a real pleasure when it's able to happen. We had, so I was actually working at Breakwater Resources at the time. I had left Placer Dome, and I had met a lot of people. Danny Seguin was one of those guys, and he was from still is from Cochrane, and they were living at the Barrack project in Tanzania, and we've always got to look around and remind ourselves how lucky we are for what we have, and we take for what we've granted. We take for what we have granted. Yeah. Well, there was two young gals, and what happens in some third world countries? Well, they couldn't afford the kids, so Danny and his wife fell in love with these kids, and you just find them beside the road, and Danny desperately wanted to get him into Canada, as you can imagine. And he had failed about 3 times, and so he called me in my office and he said, I don't know where to, can you help? And I said, Danny, I don't know what I can do, but I know who I can call to. Mm-hmm. So I called Don McCutcheon, and within 28 hours, they were from Tunisia and they're back in Canada.
Oh wow!
And that's so those 2 kids are they're obviously they're adults now, and they're independent. They're strong people. The Danny and his and Dan's other kids love them. But the funny part about this story is in my office, there was 2 pictures in my office, and my daughter came in one time, and I don't have pictures in my office. I don't have pictures of really anything, but there was 2 pictures in the office, and it was those 2 young gals I got helped to get out of Tanzania. And Dad said, Shayla said, who are those? Who was? I said, who are they? And I said, oh, they're just 2 kids that I helped in.
Right, yeah. But
you know what?
Yeah,
it's still, it's probably the most rewarding thing I've been involved with. And I've, whether it's a bunch of stuff you could make it accomplishments on, but helping kids out in terrible circumstances is the most rewarding thing that I've, and it's still today, if you can help the kids, it's still the most rewarding thing you can possibly do in any part of your career.
2 things are true in life. There's going to be a time where we need help, and there'll probably be a time where we can't help. And that makes a big impact. Well, it's a beautiful thing, Kinsman.
It's a beautiful thing.
Maybe you'll have a story like that one day, Mark.
Well, one day.
You could start by getting me a
good
coffee
hope, right?
one day. not as close, but all small deeds start,
as they say,
one step at a time.
Small things,
Yeah.
lead up to the big things in life. Right?
Well, we really wanted to thank the minister
thank you.
for being with us today.
Thank you so much, George.
We hope we covered everything. And we'll be right back after we thank our amazing sponsors and partners there, Mark.
Yes, we will. We'll be right back after this. And we're getting set for Moon's Exotic Pets and Supplies at their grand opening this Friday in the basement of the 101 Mall. We'll be there. Follow their Facebook page for more detail. And the holiday sample boxes. Place your orders now with the Chow Sandwich Company. You can email them today, chowsandwich@gmail.com. Pickup dates coming up November 21st and December the 5th. Place your orders today. And check out Bella's Holiday Nano Selection at Bella's Boutique. The holiday PJs just arrived. You can shop online at bellasboutique.ca or visit Holly Dorian today, 75 Pine Street South, or call 705-288-2352. And Frank Rubino now rents bins, 8, 15, and 30-yard bins, perfect for renovating, roofing jobs. If you need one, call Frank for your quote today, 705-288-8027 at Rubino's Petrochem. And place your holiday orders with the Iroquois Falls Storm before Friday. Get your Christmas jerseys just in time for the holidays. Book now. Email today, admin@ifstormjra.com to place your order. And winning free promotion with Boost Your Business this week, it's Clean to AT. For all your cleaning needs, you can contact Tiffany today, 705-288-9519. You can follow her also on Facebook. And calling all volunteers with the Downtown Timmins BIA just in time for the Santa Claus Parade. Call now if you want to help out November the 18th, 705-264-8733. And boost your business and win free promotion of your business with Gerota's Board and Kelly Lawyers. Will you be this week's winner? Watch for the winners posted every Friday. And sparks up your lunch with Sparks Pizza, 106 3rd Avenue. Your chance to win this week's pizza just like Jan's Closet did last week. Will you be week 3 winner? Follow the post and winners posted every Wednesday. And spruce up your business just in time for the holidays with DAP Cleaning Solutions. Residential commercial cleaning excellence guaranteed. Book now for your carpet cleaning, strip, and wax jobs for your commercial units today. Call Andrew N. for your free quote, 705-465-3500. And do you need investment advice, life insurance plans, and goals? Contact Sebastian Vermette Insurance and Financial Limited, 239 Wilson Avenue, Timmins. Call today, 705-264-4395. And if you're buying or selling over the holidays, put your house on the market with this guy, Albert Seal from Royal LePage Northern Realty Leaders. Have Albert seal your deal today, 705-465-3493. And why not win some cash just in time for the holidays with Jackpot Time? Book a bingo session today, 251 First Avenue. And on the big screen this week, Killers of the Flower Moon, Five Nights at Freddy's, and The Marvels. Tickets and showtimes online at ImagineCinemas.com. And a shout out to Dare Timmins. For inquiries, you can email them today at daretimmins@gmail.com. And it's a busy week for the Porcupine Gold Kings with a home-and-home with the Iroquois Falls Stingers. Game 1 tomorrow night in Iroquois Falls at the Just Jordan Arena for 7:30. And then back at the barn Friday night at 7. Go Gold Kings, go. And the PMHA announcing their NOHA Tournament of Champion hosts. They posted all the details. In fact, applications available online through the PMHA Facebook page. And she's the producer of Sportsman Channel Canada and Just Hunt Inc., that hunting girl, Amanda Lynn Mayhew. In Midtown Bowl, looking to book your Christmas staff party, your next function? Have some fun at Midtown Bowl today. They've got something for everyone. Call now, 705-267-3500. And do you have hair thinning questions? You'll have them answered with Louise LaFawn from Look 140. You can call today for a consultation, 705-267-7566, or go see her, 1427 Gatineau Boulevard in Timmins. Now let's get those tires swapped today with Masters Tire Timmins. Get 4 tires for the price of 3, and they'll drive to you with their mobile service anywhere in Ontario. Book your appointments now, 440 Algonquin Boulevard in Timmins, or call 705-915-3745. And the Timmins Majors want you to be a part of their cash calendar in the new year. Become a cash calendar sponsor today. Inquire through the Timmins Majors Facebook page. In.
All right.
Hang on. You see what happens?
Did you mute me, Kinsman?
We muted you.
Well, because you didn't.
Yes, that's what happens when you give me the control of the show.
That's right. This is why the mouse is staying
that
over here.
side. You
That's
told me
right.
not to click it, and I wanted to see. But,
Yes, that's right. But what I was saying before, you didn't want me to chat about your pumpkins.
No.
You didn't
Toss
put them
in the trash.
You didn't put them in the trash. You threw them in my yard. I seen one with the big KINZ on it. What am I supposed to do with that?
What, you're supposed to recycle them? Obviously not. What is it? Composting. Do you compost them?
Yeah.
Leave them out for the bears. Bears looking
That's
for
right.
their last snack before hibernation.
If you see a pumpkin that says KINZ in your yard, let me know. It seems like he's dropping them off everywhere. I don't know what to do with the pumpkin, to be honest with you. Can you plant them?
Well, I guess you could, or
Yeah.
probably the seeds. But I was told, I guess if they rot in the ground, they would sprout a new one.
Joanne says the bears eat them, or throw them in the bush for food. Well, there you go. Not
Or
just
throw
because.
'em throw them at Klomp's car. When he's driving
just
by.
because I live in Porcupine doesn't mean it's the bush. Big pile of pumpkins, but a big shout out to George Pirie comes on and he talks. We're realists, we understand the realities of what's happening in our community, the good and the bad. There are a lot of serious issues, and that's probably an understatement, but there's also a lot of positive things happening too. And sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that. So.
Yeah, they kind of get swept under the rug. So it's nice to see that there is a lot of money being pumped into this city. Yeah. And a lot of great organizations benefiting from it. And again, it's nice to see.
There we go.
And again, they don't like tooting their horn, but when they come on the show, they toot a few of the stories with us like they did tonight.
So now we're finding out what to do with our pumpkins there, Kinsman. To the farms.
Garbage.
Yes, that's right.
Garbage.
Okay, so a couple things. There's Helga. Helga's the winner of...
yes, Helga Kroll.
Yes.
She's enjoying a nice full tank of gas
That's
thanks
right.
to Frank Rubino with Fill Your Tank with Frank. And I think we were watching Frank fill her up today. Over $107 worth of gas today.
And Helga did it the right way. She showed up on bare bones, Kinsman.
Yeah. Right on
Fill
fumes.
it up.
And again, there is another contest between now and Christmas. Another Fill Your Tank with Frank. And again, we'll be given
That's right.
the details on that in December. So.
Joanne wants to know if we're going to be at the craft show this weekend. Well, we'd
like to.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah. We did reach out to someone, some of the organizers. We haven't heard back some of the vendors. So who knows? Maybe we'll be getting crafty.
Maybe we can get crafty this weekend.
Like that one,
if you know anybody, tell them to message us. We'll definitely be there.
There we go.
If asked. Frank's a great guy. Sure is, Dave. Yes, right. We love Frank Rubino, and again, he's loving those bins. The bin side of the business is doing really well down there.
There we go. Well, while the chat was going on with George, people were giving you the Leaf updates. Losing.
Keeping me up to date, and we were just joking during the sponsor break there. No one ever gives you these Sens updates.
Yeah. It is Remembrance Day on Saturday. It's Saturday, right?
Yes,
Saturday's the 11th.
Saturday.
Yeah,
so everybody will be heading to their local cenotaph.
That's right.
And again, you're encouraged to go and support the troops.
Of course, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to
veterans alive and currently fighting.
There's one in South Porcupine, and there's one in Timmins. I'm going to make my way down to to Timmins, my friend. The snow's here to stay. Okay, so you put together the midday blast.
Yes.
I'll give you credit for that. You do a good job. You do the weather update. So you're no Frankie McDonald, but it's the snow here to stay.
Yeah, the snow, usually once the snow starts to stick, I'm afraid it's going to be sticking around for a while.
So you're saying, so you're giving some bad news on the show.
Bad news, yeah. You know what? If it's going to snow, it's got to be the good snow. Today, it's in between snow and slush. It's not really good. Good packing snow today. It's a mess.
Hey, Klomp, want to come shovel my driveway? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be. What time? I'm going to shovel in my boxers at 2 in the morning. This is how I like to roll.
This is how you roll in Porcupine.
Not too many people. You can go out in your boxers and shovel.
No one would care.
No
one would care.
No one would. Maybe that bear eating all my pumpkins.
They would look outside and they would think that was a normal day.
Yeah, that's right. It's usually the day of first snow. Unfortunately, you see the joke is the Summer Tires Club, but a couple spin-offs into the ditches.
Yeah,
I don't know if we had any today.
No, you see the odd one. I know Ray Hill is always a dangerous portion of that stretch. People jamming the brakes on when they shouldn't. Again, we're into it's that transition, right?
Oh, Kinsman.
Where we forget all our winter driving skills for a few days.
The
as we get back into it again.
The bears are going to laugh at me if I'm outside in my boxers. They don't even eat me. I got a couple pounds of meat for them, though, Kinsman. So
just a couple pounds.
So who knows? So yes, thank you so much to George Pirie, and you got a prize tonight, don't you?
Yes, we do. Thanks to Nat from Midtown Bowl, we're giving away 2 rockin' bowls, and again, someone will win it if you took part in tonight's show, made a comment. A simple hello could get you in to win.
Yes,
with the wheel of winning. Who's going to be off to Midtown Bowl again?
2 rockin' bowls.
Yeah, 2 rockin' bowls, and again, that's a lot of fun. Includes your shoe rental and a night of fun at Midtown Bowl, which they've got great food in there.
Are you ready, kids?
Yeah.
To draw a winner or what?
Let's draw a winner. A winner or a wiener? Which one are we drawing here?
A winner. Oh, my God.
All right, who's going to be off to Midtown Bowl? 2 rockin' bowls. Hey, Stephanie Bishop.
Boom.
Congrats, Steph. We'll get in touch with you after the show and deliver this prize pack to her tomorrow. So congrats.
Stephanie Bishop. There we go, Kinsman. And we deliver. You know, last week, we gave you a day off. You got exhausted working so hard during the day. I delivered the prize.
You delivered the prize.
You always deliver.
You got lost.
They had good.
It took you like 3 hours to get to one house.
You know what's funny though, and you're gonna like this because most people you go deliver the prize. All right, can't wait to see Mark get a photo. I go to deliver it, put it in the mailbox.
Yeah, mailbox.
Yeah, that's right. Stuff it in the mailbox.
Well, they know you're a Sens fan.
They were
greet that guy.
I think they were busy getting the kids to bed, and there's nothing worse if you have young kids. Finally getting them to settle down, and then someone knocks at the door, or the dog
starts barking.
Oh,
and, it's all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I had to respect that, but I think you just sit outside their house and wait for that. So
I wait.
Put down that phone for a second. But thank you very much, all you beautiful people. And we should say, after Remembrance Day, we got a lot of exciting things happening as we lead into Christmas.
Yeah, as we lead into the holiday season. Yes. Again, we don't want to give away too many details, so we'll wait till the 12th.
We'll wait for the 12th, but some fun stuff, some community give back programs. Teddy's going to be back with Christmas decorations
from
in the
office.
NOE.
Yeah. If you thought his Halloween display was amazing, just wait till you see what Christmas has up Teddy's sleeve.
Yeah.
It's going to absolutely wow you. And again, I think when people come by to Studio 67, they'll be taking selfies with this display like they were with the NOE Halloween display.
People still feel sorry for you because you're a Leaf fan.
That's the pity selfie.
They love your hat. Go Storm,
yes. Go Storm, go.
Yeah, there you
go. They knocked off Hearst last night, 3-2. The boys are gelling with their new coach.
And you know who that is? Lisa McComb. They're a big part of the Storm games.
Yes,
with
they
the
are.
Lightning shot.
The Lightning shot is now into the $600 bill mark.
Hey, that's my job to promote the Lightning shot, PA guy. You stick to goals and assists.
We gave you the mic for that.
Coming up next, the lightning shot.
No one can hear you.
They can hear me all right. Sometimes they say I'm too loud. Anyways, thank you very much, all you beautiful people. Have a wonderful night.
Yes, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place, Studio 67. We'll see you then.
Chemicals between us, it's easy to see. You got me floating high in ecstasy. I'm waiting for the weekend to be with you. This feeling's true. Chemicals between us, it's easy to see. You got me floating high in ecstasy. I'm waiting for the weekend to be with you. This feeling's true. So into you.